that you're all doing absolutely fine. Would like to welcome you all to this platform of IAS Origin. IAS Origin के platform पे would like to welcome you all. Namaskaram everyone. A very warm welcome from my side. I can certainly see a lot of excited folks in the comment section itself. I can see Maurya, Isha, Kutra, Harsh, Shubhanshu, Shubham, Karishma, Manav, Aditya. A lot of people are there. Would like to welcome you all to the session. And I am hopeful that you all are really excited to learn the nuances, the proper aspects of the budget. So now you all are aware of one thing, right? The budget and the economic survey are so much important documents that we really can't afford to miss out on them. We all are aware of this thing that we have to all the time, when you may be preparing for any particular examination for that matter, you cannot afford to miss out on these important documents. Why? Because whenever I talk about the budget, I want to tell you that budget gives you a proper idea. It basically highlights what is the vision of government. So government's vision is going to be highlighted by the union budget, and that is what makes it so much important. Government's priorities, where is the focus of the government? All these things are absolutely given proper clarity in this particular budget. So whenever you're reading the budget, you have to see that you are basically reading the government's priorities. You are basically reading what? You're reading the government's priorities, that where the government wants to spend its money, where the government actually wants to focus, what all are the focus area, what are the high priority areas, where the money is going, from where the money is coming. That is very much important. So from where the government earns money, where the government spends money, all these things are very much appropriately given in the budget. This is what we need to understand. So that's the basic idea of this session, that we are going to be having a proper clarity on this aspect of budget, that is union budget, which we have seen this year, that is 2025-2026, prepared by the Union Ministry of Finance Budget Division, and it was recently in a lot of news. So we took our time to bring you a proper analysis of the budget, and that is what we are going to be presenting here in front of all the people out there. So make sure you all share the session with your friends so that they should also be in a position to take proper advantage of this. Take your running notes also, because in this session making running notes is very much important. So I always suggest all the students that keep on making some running notes as well, because it always helps you guys in proper revision aspect. If you actually want to revise on proper basis, you certainly can do that. This is very much important. So making running notes is something which is very much advisable to all the people out there. So I hope that's absolutely fine. Again, that's me, Akash Randev. I've recently secured rank 25 in Himachal Pradesh Administrative Services examination, and I'll try to make sure that I bring to you all the nuances of the union budget, which we have seen this year, which has been in a lot of news, and we have to know inside out about the budget. Is that clear? Before I even move further, this is our Telegram channel. Make sure you join that. If you want the PDF of the session, which will be uploaded on this Telegram channel after this session, and we bring to you many such sessions on regular basis. This is IAS Origin Telegram channel. You can scan this or you can search that easily. You'll be provided in the description also, this particular link. So don't worry about that. So I'll just try to make sure that I'm giving you proper clarity. Before I move ahead, I want to tell you all that tomorrow at 12 p.m. you are going to have a summary of economic survey also. So don't miss out on that. It will also be a live session. Like today, this is a live session on budget. Tomorrow we have a live session on economic survey, which again is going to be super important for you guys. So I'm sure nobody wants to miss out on that as well. Clear? Now, when we see budget as a document, it is very tricky that how do we decode that, because you all may be aware of this particular fact that a lot of facts are there, so many things are there, that how do we study? So what I have done is I have broken it into small parts so that it is easy for you to decode it properly. So this is what I have basically done. But I hope this is absolutely clear now, everyone. So who all is joining the session now, don't worry, you are not late, and make sure you share the session with your friends also, so that they should also be in a position to take advantage of the session. Got it? Now moving ahead, when we saw this year's budget, what was the main highlight? Do you know that? The main highlight was a great poet, Telugu poet, Shri G. Appa Rao. He was quoted by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Nirmala Sitharamanji, and she said that a country is not just its soil, a country is its people. So you got to understand this thing, that Union Finance Minister presented the budget with a theme of Sabka Vikas. So firstly, note this thing, bete. Note this thing in your notebook, that Sabka Vikas is the theme of Union Budget this year. That is 2025-2026 budget. The theme is Sabka Vikas. Now that's a very important thing. Now what exactly does it translate into? It translates into simulating balanced growth for all the region across the country. In all the regions, we have got so many regions in the country. What we want this particular, so this is very much important. But you should refresh the session in case you're not able to see me properly. Anybody who is finding any difficulty in that can surely be refreshing this particular thing. This will be absolutely fine. Anyway, so I hope this idea is clear. So you can be, getting this question to you guys. A perfect question can be that what is the theme of the budget this year? So theme of the budget is Sabka Vikas. So again, this is one thing we have to be very much clear about. I hope it's fine. So what I am hopeful is that you are able to pick these things properly. These basic ideas you are able to pick properly, which is of immense importance for all of us. Clear? This is one thing. Now, having said that, secondly, when we talk about the budget has talked about a journey of development. So now you all know, Sabka Vikas is a very important theme, no doubt. So this is a very important fact we need to understand. It's a very important fact we need to understand, that what is the budget's theme? It is Sabka Vikas. One thing is clear. Then the budget gives us the journey of the development for India. What is a journey? Journey is you move from one place to the other. You move from point A to point B. That is the journey. So for journey, we need engine. And this budget gives us 4 engines of development. How many engines of development it gives us? 4 engines of development. What is the engine number 1 for the development of India? That is agriculture, Krishi, agriculture. What is the second engine for development? That is MSMEs. We'll talk about that. What is the MSMEs? We have got medium industries, some small industries are there, micro industries are there, enterprises are there. Then the third engine, which is very much important, is you need a lot of money. That is investments you need. And what is the fourth journey engine for development? That is exports. Very much important. So we have to understand this thing, that whenever we talk about this development journey of our own country, that is India, we have 4 engines which are listed in the budget. So please make a note in your notebooks or wherever you're making notes that we have 4 engines of development: agriculture, MSME, investment and exports. We have 4 engines of development. But mind you, these are important things which you're talking about and you're not going to find in any books, you know that. Okay? You are not going to find any books because this is super important. Now, for these engines to run, what do you need? Every engine needs some. Keep the comment section very much active. Every engine needs what? Fuel. Petrol chahiye, petrol, diesel, fuel. So what is the fuel for this? Fuels are reforms. We need to reform various sectors. And of course, we need to have inclusivity, that everybody should get the benefit. We need to have a destination. What is the destination or what is the goal which we have? Our goal is basically Viksit Bharat, developed India. That is what we want. And again, I would like to quote that the country is not its soil, the country is its people. So that is why inclusivity is important, that everybody should be reaping the benefits of growth. The growth has to be all inclusive. The growth should not reach 1 or 2 sections. The growth is supposed to reach all the sections which we have in the society today. I hope this idea is clear to you guys. Till here, what I mean to tell you is that you guys are, I hope, understanding these things. You guys are, having a basic idea about these things. These are very much important things. Take a screenshot if you want. This is very much important. So our budget is starting with this thing. Our budget is having a theme of Sabka Vikas. Our budget is having 4 engines for development, that is agriculture, MSME, investment and exports. And our budget talks about that we want a fuel for this engine and the fuel is reforms. The spirit is inclusivity and the destination, the goal is Viksit Bharat. I hope till here nobody is having even iota of doubt. Don't forget to add this video to your liked video so that you can watch it later before the exam also. When you add this video to your liked videos, you will be in a position to watch it before the exam as well, I can assure you. So make sure you hit the like button who have not liked it. Thank you, Kumar Chandan, means a lot. So everyone, be very much focused and you will be learning immensely from the session, because I'll tell you something, ultimately what is more important from the examination is that you have to be very clear in all the aspects which we are studying. Okay, moving ahead now, in line with this particular theme, what exactly are we focusing upon? This is important. See, we are focusing on removing the poverty, zero poverty. We are focusing on education. We are focusing on quality healthcare. We are focusing on skilled labor. We are focusing on women's share in economic activity. We are focusing on making India the food basket of the world, that is agriculture. So you got to be understanding this thing, that these are basically, when we talk about this, 6 priorities which we have in this particular budget is this particular thing. These are the 6 broad principles of the budget. So you have to understand that we are focusing on zero poverty. We are focusing on 100% good quality of school education, which is quite important, right? Everybody knows that, no rocket science involved. We are focusing on access to high quality, affordable and comprehensive what? Healthcare. We are focusing on what? 100% skilled labor. We are focusing on what? 70% women in economic activities, which is quite important, and farmers making the country the food basket of the world. This is what we need to focus upon. That's quite interesting. So what you see here is a budget summary, bete. Okay, budget is very big document, but what I have tried to do is I have tried to bring a proper summary to you guys. I hope you are clear about that. Now, before we go deep into that, it is very important for you guys to know that from where the money is coming. You know, budget tells you that from where the government, you know, has been earning. That's very much important. So you are supposed to know that thing also, that from where we are seeing the money is coming, from where do we see the expenditure is happening. So government spends money, government earns money. You all know that. So from where the money comes, from where the money is coming, and where do the money goes, that are very much important points which we need to understand. So let's talk about that. This is important from the examination point of view also, that whenever we talk about government's income, rupees come from, that is government's income, central government's income, union government's income. What is the income? So can you see what is the top income source? Everybody have a look at this. I have, you know, brought a proper pie chart over here. You can have a look over there, please, everyone. We can see the biggest source over here is government's borrowing and other liabilities. You know, borrowings means loans. So around 24% of the total income is coming from loans. Not a great thing, but this is how it works. But if I talk in terms of taxes, which is the top one? So you got to understand, bete, the government makes 22% of the income from income tax. So the income tax which we people give to the government is making 22%. So this is the number one. So if I talk about the taxes, so the top tax from which the government is making money is what? Income tax. This is very much important point. So this question definitely can arise in your exam. You have to be very much clear with that. What is the second one? The second one is GST and other taxes. You can have a look. It is around 18%. That is GST and other taxes. What is the third? Third is corporation tax. You know, corporate tax, the big corporates give 17%. So that is number 3. So you have to know that which are the 3 top taxes from which the government is making a lot of money. 22% income tax, 18% then GST other tax, and 17% is corporation tax. You have to know the basic chronology which I am telling you over here. Very important. And then of course we'll have union excise duties and custom tax and all these things are there. But these are the top 3 taxes, so you should know. And of course top source is loans, no doubt. But in terms of taxes, we have income tax, GST and corporate tax, which is given by the corporates, that is the companies. And uske baad we have, you know, excise duties and custom tax. This is of important fact. From which exam? From prelims point of view. In prelims exam, they do ask a chronology of these things. So you have to have a perfect chronology in your mind all the time. You got to understand that. Are you gaining something out of the session? I am hopeful that you guys are gaining something out of the session, which is very much important. So what I am trying to do, I am trying to give you what is required from the examination point of view. So this is basically the income of the government. What is being told in the budget? Income. Government is earning from these sources, right? So it has to be very much clear. Everyone. So I am hopeful that you guys are finding the session very much useful. All the people out there. Perfect. Now, this is absolutely clear to you guys. Now moving ahead, we talk about where the rupees goes to, that is the expenditure part. Or the spendings. Or the spendings of the government. We got to know this as well. This is also very much. Thank you, Tarun Goel. It means a lot. So everybody keep on hitting the like button so that this video is added to your liked videos, all of you. So when we talk about where is rupee going to, this is very interesting. So having said that, what you need to understand is that biggest share where the money is going is this. Let me show you. If you can read that, state's share of taxes and duties. Now, what is that? This is 22%. This is 22% component. This is where the government's money is going. Now, what is that? You got to understand what is that. See, central government earns a lot of money. From that pool of money, from that pool of taxes, it gives some taxes share to the state government. So that is 22%. Okay. And then since the government has taken a lot of loan, so the second expenditure is interest payments. Why? Because when you have taken loans, you have to pay interest. So government also pay interest on the loans. So second thing is interest payment, which is done by the government. The third expenditure item over there where the rupee is going towards is basically central sector schemes. You know, government schemes basically. So you see, government schemes is where they are spending around 16% of the pie of the share. So you got to know here, top three is, top mein we have state share in the taxes and the duty which is earned by the central government. Then we have interest payment, this is on the second, and then we have central sector schemes, that is on the number three. So you have to know here also number one, number two, and number three item which is there. Very important this is. Is that clear? So rest, of course, we have a lot of items, but this is what we need to understand. Any doubts still here, you surely can let me know. Everything is clearly visible, right? On defense, we spend around 8%. So that is again a massive spending. Around 8% is going towards the defense. So again, these are very important facts, bete. These are super important facts which you are supposed to know. And I am hopeful that I am able to give you a proper clarity on that. You got to understand. Yeah, it is central. Yes, it is central government sharing with the state governments. It is central government sharing with the state government. We have to look into. Very important this is. Thank you Vinayak Oja. Thank you Raju Singh. Everyone. I am hopeful that you guys are getting proper clarity. Okay. Now we are done with this particular part. This is quite important, no doubt. But now the next thing is that what are the major expenditure items, which ministry, which sectors the government is spending towards. So union budget, this particular budget 2025-2026 gave us an idea that these are the major expenditure items per day. The top expenditure item is defense. You know how much the government is going to spend on defense? You would be amazed to know it is around 4,91,732 crore. So around 5 lakh crore you can see that is the top item. That is the top spending item of the government, which is very much important. So note it down in your notebooks that in India, in budget, we have number one per defense, which is the top expenditure item which we have. This is of course important for us as well. Is that clear, everyone? So I am hopeful that you guys are picking these things up. Small cherry picking is important. No, Urmila, this is the data from the defense. This is the data basically from the budget. The budget official document of the government, I am quoting. Urmila, I hope you're getting that. The official document of the government, that is what I'm basically quoting over here. Okay, it has been given over there. You go to the PIB, so that is what you read. So I have gone through all these and then we have prepared this particular summary. Okay, the second, the spending item when we talk about is rural development. These are the government priorities now for this particular year. This is what the government's priority is going to be. I hope now it's clear. Economic survey will tell you that what has been done, but budget tells us that what is the priority. Okay, perfect. Now we talk about the rural development. This is the spending. You don't need to know the figures. You just need to know this thing, chronology. The third is home affairs. Okay, home affairs means law and order and other type of Minister of Home Affairs is spending a lot of money on making sure about the safety, internal safety and all. Then we have agriculture, that is on number 4. Number 5 priority, that is education. And number 6 is health. So you should know that what are the top priorities area for the government for this particular time period. The budget tells us that we have got defense, rural development, home affairs, agriculture, education and health. Is that clear? Now there is no rocket science. So we have presented data in such a manner that this is not going to be really difficult for you to comprehend. This is very easy for you to comprehend. No, don't you think so? This is actually very easy for you to comprehend, So always read it in such a format that it is so much easy for you to comprehend. Okay. Sas, what comes in 24%? See, 24% I've already told you, borrowing and liabilities, the government takes a lot of loans. So loans come over here, that's it. Okay, so that was the loans we were talking about. Anyways, now on number 7, what comes? On number 7, the government priority tells us we are talking about the urban development. On number 8, we have IT and telecom. On number 9, we have energy. On number 10, we have commerce and industry. On number 11, we have social welfare. Number 12, we have scientific department, R&D and all. So this is the priority of the government. You just need to know the top 5 and 6 priorities of the government, which are going to be there where the government is spending a lot of money. That is what we need to look into. Interesting? I hope you guys are, you guys are the future of India. So you guys need to understand these facts very, very precisely, let me tell you. And I can assure you, this is surely going to help you guys in your overall clarity of things. This is very, very important. Now, one very interesting thing which we saw was the deficit trends are on the lower side. The deficit trends are going towards downwards, which is certainly going to be very, very important. We'll talk about that as well. Okay. Yes, absolutely. You also know that, right, Pari? So that's the point. Now, I would like to tell you that when we talk about the deficits, now what is deficit? Just let me tell you in brief, first of all. When we talk about the deficit means that what you earn and what you spent. If you are spending more than what you earn, then you are in deficit, which is a normal thing for every government across the world. So you got to understand this thing. When I talk about the fiscal deficit, so fiscal deficit, which used to be, in 2021, 22, 6.7%, it has come down to around 4.4%. So you just need to know that fiscal deficit has been pegged at around 4.4%, which is very much important. So बस इतना आप ध्यान में रखना, 2025, 2026 budget estimates are putting it here. So this budget is putting the fiscal deficit at around 4.4% of GDP. This is as the percentage of GDP. Always remember this thing. Now, revenue deficit as low as 1.5%, effective revenue deficit as low as 0.3%, and primary deficit as low as 0.8%. But what is more important is fiscal deficit number. Just remember this thing, that 4.4% is going to be the fiscal deficit according to this. Fiscal deficit. So this number is important from examination point of view. So from prelims point of view, you need to know about this number. You need to have an idea about this proper number, which is certainly going to be very much important. Easy, very easy. Perfect. Now, having said that, now you all are understanding this thing, right? That the government has focused on the 4 engines of growth. What are the 4 engines of growth? Agriculture, MSME, investment and exports. These are the 4 engines of growth which we have. You know that. And the budget, is proposing development measures for whom? The budget is saying that we have to focus on Garib, that is poor, Yuva, that is youth, you guys, Annadata, that is farmer, and Nari, that is women. So these are going to be the 4 important focus areas of the budget's measures. That these are going to be at the center focus. The poor, the youth, the farmer, and the women, they are going to be the main focus areas, which is certainly very much important. Always remember this thing. And which is rightly so. These have to be at the center of the development process always. If they are not at the center, then there is something wrong. We always need to understand, that they are supposed to be always at the center stage. And this is what we are doing in this budget also. So, you are supposed to know about these things. These are very basic things, but we are supposed to have a proper clarity on all these points. Ultimately, this is very much important aspect we need to look into. I hope it's clear. So anyways, what is more important is, since you know what is agriculture. Agriculture is engine number 1. This is engine number 1 for the growth. You know that? As I've already told you that we have got the engines of development and the growth. So agriculture is number 1. So I would like to tell you that what budget is talking about the agriculture. This is quite interesting. And I can assure you that you will get plenty of direct questions from this aspect also. You can get plenty of direct questions in the examination from this aspect. So take it very much seriously. What budget tells us is, firstly, let me tell you this particular aspect, that budget is telling us about Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. Very important this is. So basically, when I talk about this particular scheme, Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, this is now going to be a super focus scheme of the government of India, no doubt about that. And on top of that, what is supposed to be understood by you guys is that what are we going to do in this particular scheme? We are focusing on the, around 1.7 crore farmers are going to be benefited from that. That is a big number. Across 100 districts, we are going to be focusing, and ultimately we are going to have a proper district agriculture program for the development. So you have to understand this thing. See, what is going to be done under this, Dhan Dhanya Yojana? You need to understand this thing. We need to focus on agriculture productivity. We need to focus on sustainable agriculture. We need to focus on irrigation. We need to focus on giving credit to the farmers. We need to focus on crop diversification. A lot of schemes are there. So ultimately, when I talk about the Dhan Dhanya Yojana, it is for overall agriculture development. Then one very interesting thing which I would like to bring your focus upon is that Makhana board is going to be set up in Bihar. So this can be a direct question. In which state the government is going to focus upon establishing the makhana? You know makhanas? Have you ever had makhanas? Healthy snacks. So Makhana board is going to be established in Bihar. This is very much important. So they are going to improve the production, processing and value addition of makhanas, and they are going to help improve the farmer income who are involved in makhanas. You know makhanas, right? How many of you have makhanas in the evening? So, better than the junk food which a lot of people have. Anyways, then they talk about enhanced credit through KCC. So you got to understand, Kisan credit card. So we are going to make sure that Kisans are having proper credit cards. When the Kisans will be having credit card, what will happen? They will get easy credit. So KCC is what? KCC is Kisan credit cards. Because see, credit at the right time and at low interest rate is very much important, which is going to be made sure by this thing, which is quite important. And let me tell you one thing. National Mission on High Yielding Seed is going to be a very big focus area of the government. They are going to improve the seed quality. Seed quality? Seed quality is going to be the center stage of the government. They are going to focus over here. Very important. And they are going to focus on the cotton productivity. In fact, improvement in the cotton quality also. Cotton is very much important from the textile sector point of view. So we are going to focus on that point as well, which is very much important. Is that clear? One very interesting thing they told is that, urea plants are also going to be set up. For example, there's a place known as Namrup in Assam. So there also we have seen that urea plant is going to be set up. So at different places they'll be setting the urea plants, which is going to be super important, and definitely it will help the farmers a lot. So what all are the focus areas? The main focus areas are revolving around these things. Cotton productivity has to be improved. Makhana board has to be established in Bihar. High quality seeds we have to provide. We have to give them proper Kisan credit card. A lot of farmers will be helped. In fact, you got to understand, this is very much important that Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana is going to be at the center stage, which is super duper important for us. So you got to understand this particular point precisely. Yes. Any doubts still here? So, there are at times, small facts which need to be understood precisely. Only then, whenever in exam, you're getting a question, you will be very much clear about that. So that's what I'm trying to make sure that you're having a proper clarity on this particular thing. They are focusing on the fisheries also. They are focusing on seafood also. A lot of things are being focused upon. And the most important thing which I would like to talk about, which the budget tells us, is that is about the Atmanirbharta in the pulses production. Now, what is Atmanirbharta? Atmanirbharta means self-reliance. So, self-reliance in the pulses production is going to be the main focus area. So, its tenure is going to be next 6 years. What are we going to focus upon? We are going to focus upon tur dal, urad dal and masoor dal. So, this is again an important point we need to understand, that what all are the focus areas of Atmanirbharta in the pulses according to the budget. That's quite important, right? So we are going to be focusing on these 3 pulses. We are going to procure them from the central agency, NAFED, NCCF during the next 4 years, and the farmers are going to be registered. They are going to get more income. So this is very much important. Farmers' income will improve. So these are the 3 dals. So these 3 pulses variety are going to be very much important. These 3 pulses variety lentils are going to be important. Tur, urad and masoor. Be very clear about this thing. Make a note of it. This is very much important. So they'll be providing good seeds. Of course, protein content will be improved and overall productivity is going to be focused upon. But what is more important is this is a very important fact. And that is a part of the budget. So you should know, what to read and what not to read in the budget. And that is what I'm trying to give you. what to read and what not to read in the budget is super important. I hope you're finding the session, useful, very much useful you finding it, so that ultimately you are in a position to use these facts. Urmila, I'll provide you, bete, suno, I'll provide you with the PDF of this. I'll provide you with the PDF. Don't worry about that. Yes, Aswant, absolutely. So I'm just trying to make sure, see, things are present everywhere. I'm trying to make it easier for you guys. My job is not to just teach you. My job is to make sure that you are finding it easy also. So that's why hit this like button and add it in your liked videos also. Thank you all. Now, one very interesting thing is, in the budget they've mentioned that we are going to use India Post, postal department. We are going to use the postal department, and it is going to catalyze the rural economy once and for all. That is again very much important. So we are going to be focusing on that aspect as well. So how do we use that? This is very much important. So basically we have to have, institutional accounts there, direct benefit transfer should be there, different schemes can be merged, and they can be brought to the people through this particular thing. That's very much it. So you just need to focus on pulses. Very important focus. Makhana is our focus, cotton is our focus, high yield varieties of seed is our focus, and Prime Minister Dhan Dhani Krishi Yojana is our focus. Credit giving to the farmers is our focus. These are the main focus. This was the first growth engine, and that was agriculture. This is growth engine number 1. Now, what is the second engine of the growth? Tell me. Everyone, tell me. We just talked about that. What is the second engine of the growth? Everyone, the second engine of the growth is MSMEs. So MSMEs, micro, small and the medium enterprises, this is the second engine of the growth, as we all are aware of. Very important this is. Now, the very first thing is that what the budget has done this year is very much transforming, and this is important from your prelims examination point of view as well. Let me tell you this thing. It's very much important, in fact. Let me be very clear about that, everyone. So when you talk about the MSME, yes, bilkul, Mr. Deepti Rajan, absolutely. Yes, chalo, I'm getting the point that you guys are knowing that. When I say MSME, we have seen a very important thing, that is revision in the classification of the criteria of the MSME. Till now, what was MSME? Tell me. MSME mein micro enterprises was, which has investment of 1 crore. Now this is not the criteria. The new criteria is, if you have investment of 2.5 crore, you are a micro enterprise. Similarly, small enterprise was, which had investment of 10 crores. Now it's not the criteria. The criteria has been increased to 25 crores. Which was the medium enterprise? Medium enterprise was 50 crore wala, but now it has been changed to 125 crore. So you can see what they have done is they have actually changed the criteria. These are the revised criteria. Always remember this thing. This yellow wala is the revised criteria for these. So micro enterprise ka revised criteria is now investment mein 2.5 crore investment. Small enterprises ka revised criteria is 25 crore investment, and medium enterprise ka revised criteria is 125 crore of investment. Similarly, when we talk about the turnover, so for micro enterprises, the turnover is criteria is not 5 crores. It is now revised to 10 crores increase. For small, it is not 50 crore, it is 100 crore turnover. And similarly, medium enterprise, it's not 250 crore, it is 500 crores. So now you can see that even if your turnover is 500 crores, you are considered as a medium enterprises. Now, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of this change criteria? You will be able to avail all the schemes which the government has for these enterprises. Earlier, what used to happen? Earlier, this was a big, grievance of a lot of investors. Here, our turnover is 251 crore, and now we are not into the medium enterprise category. So now they have changed the criteria. So it is going to benefit a lot of enterprises, that we can see the revised criteria is there. So this is important from the prelims point of view as well. So you should know about this thing. No, you don't need to read bete. Rigved, see, I'll tell you what, you can certainly, go into the government finance ministry website, you will find the budget there. But if you've done this thing, then it is fine. Tomorrow, we are going to have a discussion on economic survey also. Let me tell you this thing, that tomorrow, we at 12 p.m. live, we are going to have the same discussion on the economic survey. So I'm sure you don't want to miss out on that as well. Nobody would like to miss out on that as well. Are you understanding this aspect? So what is the MSME's definition? It has totally changed. So now what we have seen is, government is trying to make sure to help the MSMEs because they generate a lot of income and employment. So we have seen the government is doing an interesting thing, that enhancement of the credit availability is there. For example, when I talk about micro and small enterprises, currently the credit guarantee cover was 5. Now it has been increased to 10 crores. For the startup it was 10 crores. Now it has been increased to 20 crores. And of course, if you are an exporter MSME, for the term loans up to 20 crores you can get. So what is more important is that government is going to improve the credit availability from these MSMEs, for these MSMEs, which is a great step. Credit availability is a great step, because if the capital is not there, you are not going to do anything. Capital is the prime thing, right? So MSME is an important engine, and that is what the government is doing for that. Remember one thing, bete, that in order to support MSME, what the government is doing? Government is giving credit cards for micro enterprises. Very important. Now, what is the micro enterprises? Tell me. We just talked about what is the micro enterprise. Micro enterprises is investment is within 2.5 crore and turnover is around 10 crore. That was a micro enterprise, right? So micro enterprise is a very small enterprise, investment up to 2.5 crore. So you got to understand, earlier it was 1 crore investment, but now it has been raised to 2.5 crore. We have talked about that. So you got to understand, we have a customized credit card with rupees 5 lakh limit for micro enterprises registered under the Udyam portal, and ultimately 10 lakh is going to be there. Such cards which are going to be issued, which is very much nice. So credit card is going to be there for these micro enterprises. Remember micro enterprises, just 5 minutes back we talked about the investment up to 2.5 crores and turnover up to 10 crores, that is micro enterprise. So this is a great step, don't you think so? Government is providing these particular things for micro enterprise. So this is actually genuinely a great measure which is going to be provided. So you got to understand, bete, that scheme is there for the first time entrepreneurs as well. If you are doing entrepreneurship for the first time, you are also going to be getting a lot of benefits. For 5 lakh such first time entrepreneurs, including women, SC, STs. So a new scheme is going to be launched. Okay, they are going to provide term loans up to 2 crore. So 2 crore ka loan mil jayega. This is a great thing. A new fund for funds will be there, and ultimately it will have around 10,000 crores. So a lot of funds is going to go to the enterprises, MSMEs. MSMEs kya hai? Again, I am telling you, MSME is micro, small and medium enterprise. So these are the definitions of micro, small and medium enterprise. These are the revised definition of investment and turnover. Always remember this thing. So if your investment is less than 2.5 crore, you are a micro. If 2.5 crore to 25 crore, you are small. If 25 crore to 125 crore, you are medium. You always remember this thing. So if you fall in this category, you are going to get some benefits from the government in different aspects. This is going to be nice. Till here, I hope things are absolutely clear. Everyone. So see, my idea is very simple, that I have to decode these things. Ultimately, if the things are not clear, then there is no benefit of this class, right? So you got to understand this thing, that we are basically trying to make sure that benefits are reaching to all the people out there. And make sure you hit the like button and add this video to your liked videos. Because when you hit the like button, this video is automatically going to your liked videos and you can use it later for your revision. But the interest rate is not clear as of now. It will be cleared. Down the line, it will be clear. As of now, we are not clear about the interest rate. I hope it's clear. Chopra ji. Chalo. I appreciate the doubts which you guys are asking. So please, keep on asking doubts. I'll be more than happy to clear all the doubts out there. Now, moving ahead, we have talked about this. Now, what was the third engine of development? The third engine of development was development, investment. So when we talk about the investment, you need to invest in what? You need to invest in different aspects. Now, what are these aspects, by the way? We need to invest in our people, the population of the country. We need to invest in economy, and we need to invest in innovation. What is innovation? R&D. Research and development, inventions, all these things. So these are the 3 areas where we need to do the investment. Always remember this. These are the 3 areas where we are supposed to do the investment part. Very much important. So I am hopeful that, now you realize that how important these things are. So when we talk about, investing, sabse pehle, the very first thing is investing in the people. So when we talk about investing in the people, investment in the people of the country, in the population of the country, what are we going to do? We are going to do a lot of important things. We are going to have Saksham Anganwadi. Now, what are Anganwadis? Anybody who knows what precisely is Anganwadi all about? Think about it. Because see, ultimately, these are the points which we need to understand. So it will support over 8 crore children, 1 crore pregnant women, different. So Anganwadis are like play schools. So in the village level, small places, we have play schools, and the government is organizing these so that the nutrition aspect of the children is fine. They will teach them a bit. They will give them food as well. Mothers will go there. They will also be helped. So mothers and the child, they are going to be helped over there. So Anganwadi is very much nice. So these are like play schools basically, you need to understand. So we are going to provide with that. We are going to expand that, which is a great thing. Nutrition is very much important. Then we talk about expansion of the capacity in the IITs. For the technical knowledge, we need to expand the IITs. This is very much important. So you are supposed to know that, when we are, whenever we are giving the care to the children, the first care has to be nutrition. So ultimately, you have to understand this point, which is quite important. So Anganwadis will always be supporting the children no matter what, and this actually helps a lot in overall development of children, especially in the areas where maybe the development is not great. So what happens is, when we talk about the Anganwadi, up to 6 years, they will be supporting the child, and this is quite important. So remember this thing, up to 6 years, the Anganwadis will be supporting the child. In that case, nutritional support, health status of the children is greatly improved with the Anganwadi services. I hope it's fine. Play school, they take care of the nutrition, absolutely. Now, having said that, now you got to understand, daycare, cancer centers in all district hospitals will be there. So, cancer patients are going to be helped nicely. Then we have Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme. This is very interesting. It will provide digital form of Indian language books for school and higher education. This is quite interesting. So, Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme, it has been, emphasized in this year's budget, which is quite important. And, what is more important is that ultimately, you will realize that the government is focusing on different aspects. You have to be very clear in this regards, which we have to understand very, very precisely. We talk about the 5 national centers of excellence for skilling, which is going to be set up in India. Atal Tinkering Labs will be there. So ultimately, in the government schools, will make sure that the children, they are thinking of innovation as well. This is quite important. So when we'll be establishing this Atal Tinkering Labs, they are going to be very much helpful in the proper innovation ideas generation amongst the children. Then we talk about Center of the Excellence in Artificial Intelligence. We are going to be having that. Broadband connectivity is going to be provided to all the government secondary schools and primary healthcare center in the rural areas, which is important. Medical education will be expanded. 10,000 additional seats is going to be there. And in the next 5 years, 75,000 seats are going to be focused upon in the medical education in India, which is must in order to improve the medical care. PM Swanidhi is going to be revamped. It is going to be, overhauled basically. UPI link credit card is going to be there. Capacity building support. So anybody who knows what is PM Swanidhi, who will tell me? So can you certainly tell me that PM Swanidhi hai kya? What precisely is PM Swanidhi all about? It is a micro credit facility for street vendors. So basically, whenever we talk about the PM Swanidhi, you should be certainly knowing about this thing, that we help street vendors through that, small loans we give to them. So Pradhan Mantri Swanidhi is very much important. So PM Street Vendors Atnidhi, that is, so you need to just write it over here, that it is for street vendors. Street vendors are going to be taking benefit of PM Swanidhi. So it means only, PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi. So you can apply for loan and all these things. So street vendors are going to be taking full advantage of that. And then we have welfare of online platform workers. So ultimately, when we talk about the online platform workers, they also need to be guaranteed some benefits, which is going to be there. So a lot of things are there. Now we have talked about people. Now we talk about investment in economy, which is quite important. Then we'll talk about the research and development as well. So when we talk about the economy, the government is focusing upon support to proper infrastructure. This is important. We are going to provide support to the states. So what are the states? Like Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, all these states. So different states are going to be provided with the support for infrastructure. This is quite interesting. So government is going to give 50 years interest-free loan to the states for capital expenditure. This is very interesting. Then we talk about Jal Jeevan Mission. What do we focus? 100% coverage is going to be there, we have to have tapped when we talk about the water. So you need to have that. So this is very much important. So ultimately it has been extended till 2028 and more budget outlay has been given, which is, the data is not important, but you should know that what is the focus of the Jal Jeevan mission, because ultimately Jal Jeevan mission is what? It is very much important mission for the government. So we need to provide safe and adequate drinking water to individual households. So this is what the idea is, that Har Jal Ghar, that is, that Har Ghar Jal is the main focus. Power sector reforms are must. So we need to focus on the distribution reforms. Augmentation of the interstate transmission has to be there, and this is going to be super important for that. Urban Challenge Fund is very much important. Why? We need to understand this particular aspect of Urban Challenge Fund. So 1 lakh crore is going to, implement the proposal for cities as the growth hubs, as we say. Focus on the water sanitation is going to be there. Redevelopment of the cities is going to be there. So that is what we need to focus upon. And asset monetization plan is there. Ultimately, for 10 lakh crore is going to be put in the new budget. So what is asset monetization? The existing assets of the government, when we liquidate them, so that is what asset monetization is all about. Divestment. So when we talk about the asset monetization, what exactly is asset monetization all about? You need to have a basic idea. It's a process of converting the underutilized public assets into revenue generating assets. So there may be an asset which may not be producing much revenue. So we are generating the revenue out of that. So that is asset monetization. Is that clear? So when we talk about, asset monetization, you have to be very clear about this aspect, that what in the first place is asset monetization all about. In the roads, railways, power, civil issues, so different areas are there. So it means ultimately we are converting it into a form that can generate revenue or a currency. This is absolutely. So ultimately, either we are doing something to generate profit or we convert it into the cash. So government may monetize its, different assets which we have. That certainly can be done. Okay. Any doubts? You have got it. Similarly, we are going to focus upon a very important aspect, and that is Maritime Development Fund. Development of the maritime area. When we talk about the blue economy, when we talk about the oceans related to the waterways, different aspects are there. So you have to understand this thing, that government is basically focusing on a lot of things which should have been done earlier as well, but then now finally we are doing that, so which is quite important. So ये बहुत important है. When we talk about the Maritime Development Fund, it is for the maritime industry. Now you should know, maritime industry is very much booming industry. We talk about the merchant shipping, ships are there, a lot of things are there. So we are going to provide them with the financing, and maritime development is the need of the hour. Why? Because ultimately it is going to bring us to a level, because I don't know how many of you know, but we have a Maritime Vision 2030 also. So what is Maritime Vision 2030? It also focuses on this thing only. So we need a proper development of shipping, ports, all these things. So in case you don't know, maritime is a very holistic terms which will include, ships, shipping, ports, waterways. A lot of things are going to be there. Nuclear energy mission is there for the Viksit Bharat. So we are going to do amendments to the Atomic Energy Act and the Civil Liability Nuclear Damage Act. And ultimately, we are going to have proper participation of the private sector as well. Udan, regional connectivity scheme. So Udan is what? Udan is basically Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik. It is for civil aviation, bringing that to the common people. So ultimately, it is in the next 10 years, it's going to be transformational. We have Swami Fund. Now, Swami Fund is very much important. When we talk about the Swami Fund, we are going to have fast completion of 1 lakh dwelling units through the blended finance. Different sources of the finance are going to be taken, and Swami Fund is important. So now you have to have this idea that Swami Fund, since it is a part of the budget, so what is Swami Fund all about? You just need to have this idea कि Swami Fund basically है क्या. So Swami Investment Fund is basically for the housing projects. So what is Swami? Special window for affordable and mid-income housing. Swami. So it is investment fund for basically homes building, creation of the houses, creation of the dwelling units. So remember this thing, what is Swami? You can make a note in your notebook bete. When we say Swami, क्या है Swami? Swami is special, SWAMIH होता है ना, S for special, W for window, for A for affordable, M for mid, I for income and H for housing. So special window for affordable and mid-income housing, that is what SWAMI is. I hope it's clear. So this SWAMI has to be very much clear ki kya hai, and future needs of Bihar, for example, different projects for the Bihar and West Kosi Canal and all, they are going to be a top priority of the government. They are going to be focusing on the proper development of Bihar. This has been said, which is very much important. I hope it's clear. समझ आया कि नहीं आया? मतलब I am hopeful that you guys have got a proper clarity on these things. Everyone, मतलब if there is iota of doubt, you can surely let me know, and I am hopeful that you have got a proper clarity. Okay, now having said that, when I talk about the tourism, you all know that tourism is a sunrise sector. Tourism is a very important sector, so that's why we need to focus on that. So top 50 tourist destinations are going to be developed. We are going to have e-visa facilities more streamlined. We are going to do skill development for our youth. We are going to have mudra loans for homestays, small hotels, ease of travel, all these things. So tourism is the main focus area of the government, no doubt, because tourism brings in a lot of forex, foreign tourists, and we have a lot of positive things associated with tourism, which is great. So we need to focus on that as well. On top of that, what is the fourth engine of growth, by the way? Tell me. In the meanwhile, I'll tell you about the R&D thing. Innovation. Investment in the innovation is important. People we have done, economy we have done, now we are talking of innovation. Then we'll talk about the fourth engine of the growth. Okay. So PM Research Fellowship, it is very much important. So we are going to be providing this fellowship to the people from IITs and IISCs for the technological research. You got to understand, gene bank for crop germplasm is very much important. The second gene bank is going to be there, and it is going to be for food and nutritional security of the country. We basically preserve the varieties of the plants. We are going to have proper research, development and innovation. We are going to allocate around 20,000 crores to implement various research and development projects. National Geospatial Mission is very much important, so we'll bring a special session on that. It is certainly important to develop geospatial infrastructure and data. So using PM Gati Shakti, we are going to have proper modernization of land records, urban planning, and we are going to design the infrastructure projects also. Then we are going to have Gyan Bharatam Mission, again documentation conservation of our manuscripts, old manuscripts which is there, old knowledge, we are going to preserve that. So this is important. So you have to know that this is important, and this aspect is very much important, so need to read about it. Why do we study budget? So that we know about this particular thing, that what is the top priority of the government. So basically we are knowing the priority of the government. Once we know the priority of the government, we know that where the government is focusing upon. That is the idea. All right. So okay. So which is the fourth engine of the development now? Tell me. Which is the fourth engine of development, everyone? Thank you, Vinay. So fourth engine of development is exports. Export promotion. So government is focusing on export promotion. That's the fourth engine of the growth, mind you. So always remember this thing, that what are the four engines of growth? First is agriculture, we have seen. Second is MSME, we have seen. Third is investment, we have seen. And fourth is exports, which we are going to do right now. So now at least this thing, how do we study budget? This is the way we study budget. So that's the most important aspect. When you talk about the exports, you got to understand this thing, that we are going to focus on a proper export promotion mission. So what is export promotion mission? We are going to have proper sectoral target. Textile sector, coal sector, different sectors are there, and we are going to give them export credit. Cross-border factoring support is there. MSMEs are going to be helped a lot so that they are competitive in the foreign markets. So we are going to be helping various sectors through this export promotion mission. Secondly, Bharat Trade Net is very much important. It's a digital public infrastructure, Bharat Trade Net, BTN as we call it, and ultimately it is for international trade. It is going to be set up as a unified platform for trade documentation. Trade documentation is very much important. So ultimately, you got to understand this thing, that support for integration with the global supply chain is going to be provided through this Bharat Trade Net, which is very much important. Because when you export, it is very much important. हाँ जी ठीक है, clear हुआ इतना? Then we have national framework for GCC. So when we talk about global capability centers, we are going to have in the emerging tier 2 cities. This is very much important. So it is basically guidance to the state for promoting the global capability centers. So see, in tier 2 cities, we see that the knowledge is not there. That is the biggest problem. So ultimately, in order to provide that knowledge, we are doing this thing. So you have to understand this thing, that to help developing the domestic manufacturing capacities for selected sectors, we are going to have these GCCs, and ultimately it is going to help, talent which is there in the tier 2 cities. They will be able to generate exports for the country, which is going to be great. Got it? And of course, warehousing facility will be there for the air cargo. So all the air cargo, especially the perishable horticulture produce, fruits and all. So we are going to provide the warehousing facility so that it is not rotten on the way. This is actually a very important thing. All right. So I hope it's absolutely clear to you guys. Very easy. So just to sum it up, you got to understand that we have already talked about these aspects which were certainly important. And I told you about the 4 engines of development, and we talked about agriculture, we talked about MSME, we talked about investment, and we talked about exports. Not only that, I told you that our destination is Viksit Bharat and guiding spirit is inclusivity, that the benefit have to reach everyone. I also told you that the youth, the farmer, the Nari and the poor, we are going to focus on them. And what is the fuel of everything? The fuel is different reforms. We are going to have different reforms, regulatory reforms, tax reforms. That is what we are going to do. We are going to have sector specific reforms. So many reforms are there which are going to be there. And a very big reform they did in the tax. You all know that in the taxation, they did a massive reform which was in the form of this. Now, what is more important is now you don't have to pay, anybody don't have to pay income tax up to 12 lakh of the income. So for 0 to 4 lakh, there is nil income tax. For 4 to 8 lakh, it's 5%. For 8 to 12 lakh, it's 10%. So whenever you calculate whatever the amount is, so that is the rebate which they'll give you. So technically you're not supposed to pay the income tax. That's important. So you can have a look at this. These are the slabs. These are known as the income tax slabs. Income tax slabs which we have in our country. You have to be understanding this point. So these are the slabs which we have. So I am sure it's very much clear. Here it is better, very much visible to you guys. So you need to understand this point that this is actually a big push by the government. They want to increase the disposable income in the hands of the people so that people will spend more. And when they spend more, then the economy definitely grows at a rapid pace. This is what we have observed. So this is what the government anticipates basically when they give you these benefits. Savings, of course, you will be able to do, and a lot of things are there. So you have to understand. So basically, the standard deduction has been raised to 75,000. So ultimately you paid 0 tax up to 12 lakh. This is what we need to understand. So in India, now you're not going to pay. Of course, it is for the new tax regime. If you are in the old tax regime, it is not there. If you're under new tax regime, you're going to be benefiting from this particular thing which is there. Very interesting. Now, so this is actually a big reform. And similarly, what we have observed is that government is focusing on a lot of things. For example, government is focusing on different tax reforms. They're focusing on regulatory reforms. Different sectors are being, regulated. Similarly, Make in India is getting a push. We are having exemptions to, LCD, LED you're making, ultimately textiles, capital goods. So they are going to help you a lot. Government is going to help these sectors a lot. Similarly, export promotion is there. Duty-free inputs is going to be there for the handicraft and leather sector. What is duty-free inputs means? When you bring in the raw material from outside, it is going to be not taxed basically. And ultimately, we are seeing, FDI is very much easy now. A lot of FDI is going to be coming to the country, which is again a very much big welcome step, which you need to understand. So you have to understand this thing, government is bringing a lot of reforms. For example, FDI limit for insurance will be raised from 74 to 100% now. That's a big thing. Getting it? Speedy approvals are going to be there. Revamped central KYC registry is going to be rolled out in 2025. So easy registration of the company is going to be there. And ultimately, Grameen credit score is very much important. When I talk about the Grameen credit score framework to serve the credit needs of the self-help groups, small women groups are there in the rural areas. They want to start a small business. Grameen credit score is going to be there so that they are getting easy credit. So overall game is that you need to provide easy credit. You need to help different sections of society so that they are getting 100% benefit. This is very much important point you need to be understanding. So remember this thing. Again, I would, bring you to this thing only that government through this particular budget has shown its focus is certainly going to be towards the poor section of the society, the youth of society, farmers, definitely farmers are the top priority, and of course women. So Mahilaye, women. So you have to understand that they are going to be focusing on the women empowerment, empowerment of the poor, youth, that is Yuva, and Annadata, that is farmers. And that is the way in which we are going to ensure inclusivity, and the destination will be Viksit Bharat. That is the main idea. The fuel is going to be reforms in various sectors, and the engine of the growth, as I've told you, is going to be agriculture, MSME, investment and exports. This is the main idea you got to understand. This is, my dear friends, the summary of this year's budget, which I've presented to you within probably 1 hour. And the best part is, not only this, you can get the PDF on the Telegram channel. You can scan this, or certainly, you can just search it, IAS Origin on the Telegram channel, you can find that. So if you have liked, make sure you hit the like button so that you add this video to your liked videos, and it will be helpful for your revision also. So when you add it in like videos, it will be helpful for your revision. Do share it with your friends if you found it useful, and do subscribe to the channel, that is IAS Origin, for amazing sessions like these. Tomorrow, that is Kal, we are going to have a session at 12 p.m. which is going to be based on the economic survey. Don't miss out on that. This is very much important session again. Economic survey session, 12 p.m. live, it's going to be there. Hanji. So you can ask in case you guys have any doubt. So thank you Manav, thank you Rajiv. Thanks a lot for staying till the end. First of all, I'm hopeful that I didn't bore you guys. मैंने आपको bore नहीं किया, ऐसी मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ. And this is a session which I was looking forward from a long time, because this is very much important session. This is the kind of session which you have to know that it is super important. Okay, Raju, Manav, Kumar, Tanuj, thank you so much. Raji Lakshmi, Tarun Goyal, it really means a lot. It really means a lot, you guys give so much support. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and make sure that you are joining this Telegram channel to get the PDF which is helpful for the revision, and do hit the like button, everyone, if you have not liked it till now. That's very much it from my side. Thank you so very much. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow, 12 p.m. live sharp on this channel. Till then, take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.